Today I'm giving you a tour of my painting studio, which is in rural Alachua County, about 15 miles from my loft studio in Gainesville. Here's my door, and you can see Henry's my guard dog. I'm standing in the doorway and panning around the studio. You can see my easel and my table, all of my storage boxes and chests, supplies, and one of my workbenches from the doorway. Here I am in front of the mirror that houses my frame closet. So I'll walk you through there into the doorway and into the racks that hold all of my frames. There's all over the place in here, all sizes, shapes, and I have some frames and paintings stacked on the floor, boxes of frames, all around this room. It's a small walk-in closet that I converted into my frame storage, and it works really great even when it's full. Now I'm starting to pan around the room a little bit. There's a box of canvases on top of that chest. I use the little space between the two chests to house stretch canvases. As you can see, I have all kinds of framing hardware hanging around. This is my framing table, and it also doubles as an acrylic painting station when I want to work on small acrylic paintings and to do my painted furniture. I put it up on this table and work on that. I pack my eBay paintings on that table, and so here's a little hardware toolbox, box of frames, paints, a drill, paintbrushes, what have you, wrapping stuff, my card box that's going to go into my loft studio to sell cards, my old art studio sign with a hole in it. And as I pan around, here is a shelf with supplies. These are all kinds of woodworking putties and sandpaper and stuff for my painted furniture. I have painting mediums, boxes and boxes of paints. I have supplies from Gamblin Paint, who is one of my wonderful sponsors for my workshops and my classes. And look at these beautiful Grumbacher paints for acrylics, and they sponsor my acrylic painting classes. So blessings to both of those companies. Here is my hardware chest that has all kinds of hammers and clamps and tape measures and my cleaning supplies, my paper supplies for the studio. And this is my palette table. You can see all kinds of paints and brushes and mediums and as I scan around, you can see my palette, which is an old piece of plywood that's been sanded and oiled with linseed oil, so it's as smooth as glass. It makes a terrific palette. Lots of brushes. And here is my easel, which is housing at the moment my next field painting. It's not very far along. I have one of those great mats on the floor because my floor is concrete in this studio. Now I have, here are my shoes. I have my music box, CD player and radio with all my CDs, my paper cutter, and this is my design station, where I do lots of design and composing for future paintings. You can see I've made some papers that are blocked off into small rectangles for doing tiny paintings. I have canvas pad with sheets of canvas for ideas and small paintings. This is my desk top for this part of my studio with, I don't know why there's a spoon there. It has my computer and some postcards I'm sending out. My refrigerator. So that is very important. The trash can. And around the corner here, as I scan around, is my apartment where I live. Now there is another room that I won't bother to show you. Well, look who's here. Henry, studio dog. Yeah. Well, off he goes. Here's my bed, my air conditioner, my paintings on the walls, my fish tank, and that is Watson and Holmes, my 2 goldfish, my flat screen TV, more paintings, my little tiny part of my desk with my calculator, my printer, my scale for weighing paintings, my other computer, more postcards, the usual mess on my desk. I have a bulletin board and a cork board, a dry erase board. So that is just about the story of my other studio in rural Alachua County.